Hello, so today I'm reviewing Oldboy 2013, the remake to one of my favourite films, Oldboy, a brilliant Korean film that is just one of the best films ever in my opinion, done by Park Chan-Wook, or some people like to change it round and do it as Chan-Wook Park in the UK. I'm not sure why, but they do that. So this remake is done by Spike Lee, a director I do not like. Now, you may have seen ages ago, some of you may have seen that I did a trailer review on this remake, and some of you may have known that I was pissed about it because Spike Lee was like, I'm not doing a remake, it's more of a reinterpretation of manga, like more reinterpretation of the film. That was bullshit. Complete bullshit. Now, this film does a storyline of a man, Joe Duchette, who is imprisoned for 20 years, 15 in the film, and I believe that it was less than 15 in the manga. And Joe Duchette is played by Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin is an actor that I really do like. Elizabeth Olsen is also in this film as Marie, who is a woman that helps Joe Duchette, and is it Sharlto Copley plays Adrian the Stranger, the villain of this film. He played a villain in Asylum recently. Islium. What did I say? Asylum. Elysium. Fuck, I'm messing up on this review today. Samuel Jackson plays Cheney, who's the guy that works inside the place where people get imprisoned. And then Michael Impromley is Chucky, who is Joe Duchette's best friend, who was there the day he went missing. And then Pom Klementieff plays Hangbok, who is the sort of the sidekick to Adrian, the villain. Now, Oldboy 2013 is a terrible remake. Just going to put that out there. An unnecessary remake that did not need to happen. Spike Lee bullshitted people with it. It was a reinterpretation. He has paid homage to things in this film. I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to say spoilers in here. Paid homage. Now, there's about maybe 3 homages in this film. Now, the first homage in this film is where he goes to buy something from this woman. She's got wings on. There you go, that's the first homage, the original Oldboy. She's got the proper white wings on, and I was like, yep, alright, that's a homage there. Second homage is he goes to a restaurant where he's eating all these dumplings. I think it's dumplings or whatever. And he goes to one restaurant, and there's a squid in the tank. Put his hand on the tank, there's a squid in the tank. Right, that's another reference, another homage to the original. And then there's another part just in the rain. Just sort of the above camera view in the rain or something that I think, I wouldn't really class it as a homage, but yeah, there's 2 homages, the wings and the squid in the tank. The octopus, I mean, in the tank. Is it octopus or squid? I'm sorry, I think it's squid actually. But yeah, there's that in the tank. This was just unnecessary, completely unnecessary remake. Like I already said, I didn't think they needed to do this because the original is already a perfect film in my opinion. I've recently been reading the manga, absolutely brilliant. I'm only up to 3 at the moment, but I'm going through all of them, and I'm noticing the things that the film did, noticing some of the things that were changed about, like the squid wasn't even in the manga originally, but with this remake, just goes completely away from what the manga did. Like, it doesn't even work, or there's like a tracker on this guy. He's got an iPhone now. Spike Lee was like, no, we're going to set it in 2013. Because, you know, the original wasn't even set in that time frame, so they didn't have iPhones or anything. So we're going to set it in 2013. The original was just like, so in the manga, it was trackers like in shoes, or he had a tracker that was inside his back. Just tracker in a phone now. Let's just simplifies it. Don't even think that's the word. That's what Spike Lee did, just made it simpler. There's just unnecessary gore in this. Now, with the original, you had him getting the guy's teeth taken out, all for the 15 years that he was kept in there, and that was the sort of thing that was needed, really. But this time, Samuel Jackson's character, Cheney, gets tied down to a table with cotton, with the wool thing, and then he's tied down, and Joe Duchette draws some lines on his neck and then is like, oh, we're not going to do teeth taken out. We're going to cut tiny pieces of flesh off your neck. Then we're going to get shots of these pieces of flesh going into the bin. I didn't understand it. And they try and do the hammer scene again. And just this just guy just sat at this desk, comes in, just puts a hammer straight into his head. And you just see blood spraying out. I know there was gore in the original. I know there was those gore in there. But it was gore that was needed. It was the necessary type of things that were in there. That it was gore that made sense to be there. With this, it's just unnecessary. It didn't need to be there. There's stuff like there's films where I can understand when the violence happens, and and there's some films where it's just unnecessary violence, and there's some films where they can do violence, and it has its reason, its purpose to be there. In this, it was just like Spike Lee was like, should just add some violence. There's just a whole scene where they try and add a backstory to Adrian, and there's just this guy going around this house just shooting holes in people with a shotgun, then shoots his head off, and it was just the most over the top, because he shoots his head off with a shotgun, but you see this bad CGI with the front of his face coming off, just like falling apart. Oh, fuck Spike Lee, and fuck this remake. Just Elizabeth Olsen seems to love to do remakes. She did The Silent House, which was a remake to... No, she did Silent House, which is a remake to The Silent House. And I thought that was an alright remake. It still did the same thing. And I thought she was good in that. But just didn't need to be in. Like, this just... fuck. If you like Oldboy, then don't bother with this. Before you say anything, I did not pay to see this. Didn't put any money to this film. So I'm happy about that. Didn't give Spike Lee any of my money. He's a shit guy who thinks it's alright to start Kickstarters and get 1 million and be like, I haven't already made enough money for my film, so I'm gonna... This is a terrible impression of Spike Lee. Can't remember how he sounds, but... As you can tell, I just don't really have much to say about this film. Just, it sucks. I wanted to walk out the cinema, and I haven't wanted to walk out the cinema for ages with a film. But with this, I almost wanted to walk out because of it just going so far away from its original work, and the manga just going so far away from it, and having this different things added to it, and even the hammer, that brilliant scene, some of the best cinematography, some of the best cinema to me, that whole scene where it's just the corridor and it's a one-shot take, and he's just fighting people with that hammer. Just with this, they try and do a one-shot take of this first part, and it's got this stupid music. It's just like dun, 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 dun. He's just like fighting all these people. That's the music there. It's me doing my impression of that music, because it was just stupid music, and you have this guy running out going, and then instead of having a whole one-shot, he climbs down a ladder to go to the next part, and then they have the fight scene happening there, and then it just comes out of a lift, and he's putting his hammer and he's like, alright, sword out of a guy. And there was more gore, unnecessary gore. Just a whole unnecessary film. Tries to add this different twist with the ending, which I heard audience was squirming at. But if they had seen the original ending of the original film is way better. With this, Spike Lee tried to add his own twist to it, thinking he was so original and great and everything, and it was just shit. And I'm not sure why Sholto was playing Adrian, where he spoke like this. I wonder why you thought I imprisoned you for all those years. It's just you're South African, and I'm not sure why you're talking like this, because your voice does not really work like this, because it sounds like you're putting it on too much. And it just sounded very stupid. And that's, yeah. It's just... The script was horrible. The film's horrible. It's an unnecessary film that didn't need to happen, never needed to happen, and Spike Lee said at one point, I'm making it because people don't like to read subtitles. If you don't like to read subtitles, and you haven't seen Oldboy, don't bother going and seeing this, because you have no brain for... Well, this is a no-brain film, because it's just an unnecessary remake. I'm just sorry, but if you say you don't like to read subtitles, you're limiting yourself to so many brilliant films that are out there. So many. There's so many great films great Korean films, great French films, great Spanish films, just the whole world cinema. There's so many better films than films you see from America and the United Kingdom. Just so many better films, and you're just limiting yourself saying you don't like subtitles. So fuck Oldboy 2013. This remake was horrible, and I'm just gonna try and forget it from my mind. Just remember that I love this. Fuck Spike Lee. Unnecessary remake. Don't go and see it. 2 out of 10 from me. Shitty, shitty, shitty.